All right. I think we're good. I think we're live-ish. For anyone watching, could you guys just let me know if I'm loud enough? Because I really have no idea. Microphone's kind of a distance from me, so I'm just checking on Discord right now. Just want to make sure the mic is good. The lag is real right now. Thank you, Lucky FN. Thank you. This is my first time streaming, hopefully not my last. But yeah, I am not I'm sorry guys, I'm not used to this lag. I'm looking at OBS and the stream at the same time and it is so laggy. But I'm just looking at Discord right now. I'm just gonna mute myself. I don't know guys, I'm looking at the stream right now. My camera quality does not look that great. Yeah, I don't really know what to do. I don't. Can you guys let me know if the light is like way too bright on my face? That's true. Thank you, Pivot Man, for creating those graphics before the stream started. It's pretty nice. It's really nice, actually. But, I don't know. I feel as though the camera's very laggy. I guess if you guys could just let me know about the camera quality or the audio, or someone said the audio's fine. I guess just to make sure if someone could just comment on the camera quality, if it's okay, if it's unbearable, if the audio syncs up. I mean, it's probably the most important, because if the audio doesn't sync up, that would be very bad. I'm so not used to this. Okay. Thank you, Ryan. Okay. If everything syncs up, then okay. Thanks. Okay. I don't. What else can I test? I guess I could. Maybe I could play like a quick game, just to test like the frame rate. Cause I'm actually very curious. I don't know if this is actually like a good test to test out the frame rate of the stream right now, but I am trash. Alright, time to watch that back. That's pretty good. I'm watching it right now. It's not bad at all. Okay. That's good. Good to know that Google Chrome streams very well. Two people watching, but that's good enough, honestly. So, first off, happy 2020, guys. It's a new year. So, one of the things that me and Ryan talked about, because we've been kind of slacking recently with our channel, is that we definitely want to post more this year. And one of the things we've noticed is that when we work together physically in IRL, that's literally when we get the most work done. For example, with all of our projects, especially Fortnite Clone, that was mainly completed when we were both physically together in a room. So ever since we've been kind of separated from each other, that's why the content has been slower and slower to make. So we're hoping with these streams that if there are more eyes on us, then that'll motivate us to just work harder. And I hope it works. It's gonna be boring though, like because one, we are very new to this. I mean very new. This is literally my first stream ever. So you're gonna see pauses, you're gonna hear ums and a lot of likes, if you know what I mean. So and I'm gonna be really awkward. So I don't really know what to do right now. I think I'm just gonna start just coding some stuff. Gonna, because I know one of our big projects right now is just working on um, just more Gamelift tutorials, and obviously we've been slacking with that. Mainly me, just because I work, and when I come back home, it's kind of hard to like come back from a coding job, come back home, and then do more coding. So, but I do want to do it because the coding I do for the channel is actually code I like. So I'm gonna get on that. We are here for the awkwardness. I don't know like what other tests. I mean, I'm looking at the stream. The my screen definitely looks good, but my webcam's a little sus. But then again, this webcam's really cheap. It's a Logitech. I literally got it a week ago. I'm gonna do one more speed test, and then I'm gonna start actually, quote unquote, working. By the way, it is very hot in my room. I am literally sweating right now. It is very hot. And the reason is because this fan I've turned on, or not this fan, this lamp I turned on is very bright. That's why I asked you guys earlier if the lighting's okay. Because I am so hot. Literally, there is a lamp right on my face, as you guys can see. And it is making me sweat. I literally just turned off my heater, so hopefully it gets colder. Or I'll just take another break because I am literally dying. Okay, that is a terrible, terrible time. But we're gonna start working now. So I'm gonna start coding a bit. And the real question is, where do I start? I know today I want to work on kind of Gamelift stuff, so I will actually edit the description of this first stream. I'm gonna edit the title. I'm gonna say working on some Amazon Gamelift stuff. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. All right, we're gonna save that title. Okay, so we're gonna start. Okay, let's open some stuff. Hold up, guys. Sorry about that, guys. It is just it was or it still is really hot in my room. I just had to go out for a bit. This lamp, man. That nice lighting, baby. All right. All right. Let's open up. All right. What do I want to do? All right. I'm going to open up the Gamelift tutorial project, the one that we used in our most popular tutorial videos. Basically the main Gamelift tutorials we did. And I remember the last time I left off, I was doing more work on the plugin, like the open source client Gamelift plugin. That isn't made by us actually. It's made by a group called Yeti Tech Studios. I've been working on that because I've wanted to add more features because right now, in my honest opinion, the tutorials that we already made are kind of incomplete. I say that because we're not really using the full features of Gamelift. And in addition to that, those tutorials aren't really well done. I mean, we made them when we first started this channel. We made that all the way back in March in 2019. So, um, but I mean, it works. It gets the job done. It'll get you multiple clients connected to a server. So, but I do want to go further because Amazon does have some nice features in Gamelift, such as um, uh, rules and matchmaking. So that's something I want to try to do in our next set of tutorials. So hopefully that'll work. Oh, that's nice. It opened up in my other desktop. So yeah, let's start. Howdy, Germentra, with the very dark profile picture that I can't see. Okay, so I'm gonna move this. I'm gonna put this here. I'm gonna be honest, guys. I have not looked at this code in a long time. So this is gonna be a nightmare, personally. And again, I know this is gonna be boring, guys. I'm sorry, but if you guys have watched a channel called Comma AI, he kind of does this a little better, actually a lot better, where he codes live. I'll actually send the link to that so you guys can check it out. I mean, they're pretty long, very long streams, but I know the coding train used to do it a lot. I mean, Comma AI used to stream a lot. That's kind of the style I'm going for. I don't know if you know those or if you guys know those channels, but that's kind of what we're trying to go for. And oh my god, it is so hot in this room, guys. That's Comma AI, the last one I just sent out, and coding train. I do wish there was a way to get rid of this delay, because this delay is pretty substantial to me. I mean, I know it's really hard to get it like to be better, but I mean, Visual Studio update. Do I want to do this? The only reason why I hesitate is because I remember a while ago I was working with Gamelift stuff, and I think it was Visual Studio 16.4.1 or something. It was a quote unquote new version. I updated and it kind of broke everything. So I'm really scared to update. Why not? I'll update it because I kind of need to. I kind of need to leave the room because it's getting really hot. And also, Ryan, yeah, I don't have a fan right now. I mean, I do, but like, how warm is it? Oh, current version 16.3.6. Last update October 23rd. That's when you know. I'll show you guys real quick, you know. All right. I'll update this so I can leave the room. And I don't think you guys care about the progress very much. Who sent me a message? This is dope. I was just checking my DMs. Oh, my Visual Studio restarted. That's cool. Wait, but what about the install? Oh, it's installing. Okay. All right, while this installs, I'll go on break because it's really hot again. Sorry about that, guys. Guys, let's be honest. Who needs a heater in the winter when you got a nice lamp pointed at your face? You know, that's all you need, guys. And it's still downloading. Sorry, guys. It's I know it's taking a while. I'm actually curious to see how fast it takes to compile code while streaming. I don't really. And also, this will be the first time I've actually compiled code with an SSD, so I'm also curious about that. Man, this is so weird. I'm not used to this at all. This is so weird. You know what I wonder? If people coming to the stream and leaving, I wonder if they're subscribers, fans, or just people who found the stream randomly. Because I'm just really curious. All right, is this the update done? Oh my god, it's still going. Yeah, this is gonna be so awkward. I have no idea how we're gonna make highlights of this, Ryan. I wish you the best of luck, cause this is gonna be kind of rough. The only highlights I could imagine from the stream is those 2 games of Type Racer where I typed very poorly. God, why is this Visual Studio? Download, 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 download. Please download. I feel like I should add everyone right now in the Discord, but this is a really awkward stream. I'm on it, Ryan. Visual Studio, look, it's downloading. I can't make this go faster. Let's look up the playoff game score. Seahawks winning. That is not surprising at all. I wonder if we're actually getting subs from this. Ryan, you wanna give some deep analytic facts? I'm actually like I'm really curious because I know some people. Well, I don't literally know them, but I've seen on Reddit instances of people when they started streaming, they gained a lot of subscribers really fast. So I'm curious. Download. Why will you not download? Download, 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 download. We wanted to download. Please. Man, if this is taking a while, I can't even imagine how long it would take to update Unreal Engine source, which we do have a tutorial for, by the way. But I'm not going to do that because that will literally take years. $27 views. That's interesting. Man, this is taking a while. Man, I'm worried. I'm worried for that compile time speed. It's gonna be Should I get out? One more step to go. Please restart your computer? We ain't doing that. Come on, man. I don't remember that. I don't remember having to restart Visual Studio after updating it. I am not gonna do that. I'm just gonna pretend like I never even saw that. So oh boy, I really hope I don't have to restart because I don't want to. Okay, looks good. I don't know. I mean, it's. I don't know, guys. That looks like the newest version to me, if you ask me. So, oh, all right. I'll restart it. I don't want to restart stream. I don't want to do that to you guys. Ryan, you want to do some research on like what streamers do for the descriptions and titles on YouTube? Like, should we add tags and stuff? Oh man. All right, stream. I'm gonna restart. It'll be really quick, so it'll be really quick. All right, guys. Sorry about that. We are back. Or I think we're back. I have no idea. All right, we're back. Dude, it is so hot. But yeah, Ryan, I've watched some of his streams before. I mean, he does. The thing is, I don't know if I can do what he can do because Comma AI, George Hotz, I think his name is really intelligent compared to me, so like he just knows so much about his craft. Kind of reminds me of Neil deGrasse Tyson, so I don't know if I can really match that. But it's okay, we're back. And we're back quick because we got that SSD, baby. All right, so we're just gonna start it up again. I wonder if Twitch would be better than YouTube. But the thing is, all the tech YouTubers use YouTube. As far as I know, I don't really see too many, especially code development, live coding channels. I don't really see them too much on Twitch. I agree, No Block King. I agree. I agree. Okay. All right, I'm not getting that error pop up anymore, so I think we can just go ahead and start. So right now I'm working on the Gamelift Climb plugin. So this is just one of the very many files. I'm just gonna look over what I last did. I can also, I'll send you guys a link to what I'm working on GitHub. So this is my fork of this stream. As far as I know, No Block King, I believe they stream mainly on YouTube. I'm talking about channels such as Comma AI, Coding Train. Those are the two main ones I know who do live coding. Actually, Ryan, I could check right now. I can check what's on Twitch. See if there's like programming channels. There used to be actually a lot of programming live streams on Twitch. But I don't really know what happened to them. Let's see. I'll just look up coding on Twitch. Yeah, there's really not that much. Albeit all I looked up was coding on Twitch, but ooh, okay, I see one guy, a solo. This guy's name Nykra? Nykra, a solo developer making an entire sci-fi game. I'll post a link. But other than that, I don't. Actually, I see some. I see another coding lab. Actually, there's a few. Actually, there's a lot. What the hell? There's actually a lot of coding live streams. Ryan, should we just should we look into Twitch? Ryan, what I meant was responding to your DM about Comma AI. It's not that it's what I'm trying to say is what he works on ties into how he interacts with people and what he talks about. Because a lot of what he does is Q&A style between him and his audience. I don't know if I can really replicate that, to be quite honest. There are a lot of coding streams though on Twitch. But maybe that's I'll look into YouTube then, actually. Cause if there's can I even oh, okay. Cause there's definitely a lot less on YouTube, that is for sure. When I look up coding on YouTube live streams, I get those music live streams that play the chill music. So I'm gonna stick with YouTube actually. I like how there's less people. All right, we'll get into it. All right. Let's look at the notepad because I don't know what I last left off. I remember I was just making these functions. Yeah. Create player sessions. All right, I'm gonna Just reading my notes, guys. It's on the other monitor. There are a few things I need to do. What do I want to do first? That's the real question. I'm just quickly looking over this code. Okay. I remember one of the things. Okay. So, just to give some background, this client SDK, the main point of it is that when you interact with your Gamelift server through your client, you have to use the AWS SDK functions to do so. But an issue was that the only known way was to do it through C++ because the AWS client libraries were in C++. So if you look like in this folder, where is it? In this AWS folder, you'll see, for example, this Gamelift folder. This was imported from AWS's public code on GitHub. So what this guy YetiTech did was he basically wrapped these C++ functions so that you could use blueprint code. So I thought that was pretty neat, even though I don't use the blueprints, but it's kind of nice. Also, it's just a nice wrapper, even for doing stuff in C++, because if you just imported the libraries, if you just imported, for example, AWS Core, Cognito Identity, and the Gamelift package, it would be kind of a mess, to be quite honest. I mean, just look at lines 7 through 22. Look at these include statements. And it's just more neat. I don't really know how to put it, but it's a lot more neat. So to do, okay, so yeah, definitely one thing I want to do was this create game session method. I did want to fix that a bit. So I'm just gonna bring up the docs for the Gamelift client. Oh yeah, let me actually send the code that I'm working on, and then I'll send the actual version as well. And I'll also send what I'm about to look at, which are these docs, because I do want to take a look at them. So right now, I'm going to be modifying this create game session wrapper. So let's take a look at that. Creates a multiplayer game session for players. This action creates a game session record and assigns an available server process in the specified fleet to host the game session. Okay. I'm going to take specifically at the input parameter the game session request, because so the current function right now, at least, it only takes these three parameters. So here's how this will work. I'll give a little more example. So in a class, you will import this Gamelift client SDK. So if I go to like here, you'll see like maybe here. Where do I use the game? Okay, here. No. Here? Okay, here. So we import the Gamelift client SDK, and then we basically instantiate an object of this Gamelift client, and then we just call functions on it. So for example, where do I use client? Like right here, for example. And the parameters you input into these Gamelift client wrapper functions are defined by us in this main Gamelift client SDK.cpp folder or CPP file. Actually no, wrong file. The Gamelift client API. This file, the Gamelift client API .cpp file has the wrapper functions essentially. So what I want to do is create game session. I know one of the things people like to do is they like to pass in properties for their game sessions. And that actually used to be, that functionality used to be here, but I kind of removed it because I didn't like how it was done. But that's okay. So I'm gonna try to bring it back. I think this will just be a good exercise for me in general because I have not touched this code in a long time, so I think adding some parameters may not be the worst thing in the world. So for example, these properties I'm talking about, it's like if you see this function, set game properties. Yeah. Looking back, not very surprised our tutorials did so well because it's kind of verbose, and it's not that verbose. It's like weird. So I'm gonna look up AWS Gamelift game session because let's do this one. Okay, create game session. Alright. I mean, I don't want to rant on Amazon right now, but if I did, it would maybe be try to consolidate the location of these documents. Because, I mean, you literally just saw, there's multiple places saying the same thing. I just feel as though it could be a little consolidated. Okay. So most of the docs I've seen so far, the main thing that's required is either a fleet ID or an alias ID, just one of them, and then a max number of players that could join your game session. And then the other parameters were kind of optional, so I sort of left them out, but I know people actually use those, so I do want to add this functionality back. Yeah, see, it takes all these properties. I don't think a name... Should I add that? I mean, a name? Let's look at this. Yeah, so this is the reason why I want to add this functionality, because by adding these kind of key value pairs for a game session, when a client looks for a game session to join, some people may want the functionality to filter and sort by the available game sessions that a client can join. I don't think a name... Do I care about names? Yeah, sorry for the pauses, guys. I'm trying to read at the same time. Thing is, I want to stream. Never mind. I'll say it later after I read this with the features. I'll add it. So, key value pairs. I mean, okay. So I commented out this code. So he had. This code's also very well done. It definitely has taught me a lot about C++ in Unreal Engine. So this is where he defines all the wrappers, I believe, like the definitions for these wrappers. Client SDK. This is just basically functions that get called when to load and unload the library. Globals. Okay. No. These are logs and stuff. Honestly, I don't even know. All right, these are these are function headers. These are more function headers. Client types. Okay, so he had like this game session config, and I was thinking, so before this method, I don't even know where it is. Before this create game session method would take an object of type fGameleft session game session config, but like I mean, but the reason why I kind of took it out was because I didn't want to. I wanted something more reusable. For example, if you make this method take in an object of type fGameleft game session config, then what about functions like describe game session details or create player session? You know, do I make an object for all of these things? I mean, I kind of just left it in there though because I mean, the guy who wrote it, Yeti Tech, spent a lot of time on it, so I didn't want to just delete it. I thought that would have been kind of mean. But I don't know. I do like this though. I like this structure he made right here, the Gamelift game session server properties struct. So I could theoretically make this function just take an array. Not that function. First function. This function. I could do that. I mean, but see, I wish I had a chat because I'm not really the most, obviously, I'm not even that experienced in programming to be quite honest. So I would actually ask the chat if I had an audience right now if the better practice is having all your parameters listed out versus um, just one object containing all of them. Um, the thing is though is that if you look at the client what they kind of do, they kind of do it here. See, they make the methods just take in one parameter, but that one parameter has a bunch of metadata associated with it. So I'm debating if I should just rewrite all these functions, to be quite honest. I mean, I wouldn't mind that much, but the only reason why I'm opposed to it is because I would literally have to do it for. I would have to just make a bunch of these objects, and I don't know if I want to do that. Let's Google it. Best practice for function parameters. One versus many. Ooh, I like this. I'll save this. Who's the third viewer? That's who I want to know. I'm guessing Ryan, me. Yeah. I've never seen a guideline, but in my experience, a function that takes more than 3 or 4 parameters indicates one of two problems. The function is doing too much. It should be split into several smaller functions, each which have a smaller parameter set. There's another object hiding in there. You may need to create another object or data structure that includes those parameters. See this article on the parameter object pattern for more information. I can't believe this is like, I'm actually considering doing this, but I kind of want to refactor this code to take in a parameter object instead of just multiple parameters. It's difficult. The question is, though, okay, yeah. So this is kind of what I'm oh, that's, do you guys see that? That's nice. I feel you, No Block King. I do. And to be honest, I'm surprised that there's someone other than me and Ryan here, so thank you for being here, Mr. No Block King. Honestly, it's getting kind of excessive. I mean, there's already 3 in this game session method, and I'm gonna pass in a 4th. And also in the original Gamelift, um, I'll send a link to what I'm talking about. So, here we go. So I'll send you this link. So this link, so basically someone wrote a package that takes functions from this big package, specifically the Gamelift package, and just wrote wrapper functions on them. The original Gamelift client stuff, though, kind of did it where it would just take in one parameter object. So, I'm definitely thinking of doing it that way, though. Because it is what Gamelift does. Or it is what AWS does. It's what they already do. Why refactor? Identical groups of parameters are often encountered in multiple methods. I agree. Code duplication. But that's the crazy thing. AWS, they made so many models for this package. Like, For example, if you just scroll down all these methods, they literally made a parameter object for every method. Should I follow that? You know what would be really cool? I don't know if you're listening, Ryan, but if we could ever get interviews with people who worked on this code, I actually really want to see the reasoning behind this. Just making a request class for every one of these methods. Not literally every method, but it seems for the most part it's almost one to one, maybe 1 to 2, 1 to 3. This is crazy. For example, create player session. That's the outcome. Where's the method? Oh, I'm sorry. Create player sessions returns a create player sessions outcome object. With the oh, Ryan, I'm sorry. Could you use your like actual could you or could you like switch off between cuz like I got like scared. I forgot it was you, but I kind of like having a Ryan your other account as well cuz do I refactor it? I kind of like listening them out individually, but let me keep reading this. See, this is talking about code duplication. If you move only data to a new class and do not plan to move any behaviors or related operations there, this begins to smell of a data class. You're good, Ryan. These classes do not contain any additional. Yes, that's what I'm worried of. I'm worried that if I just make a bunch of these, if if I make a bunch of um, these game session config structs and pass those in instead of explicitly the individual parameters, I'm just gonna have a bunch of independent classes. They're useless on their own essentially. A date range, for example, if we go back, this is a date range object makes more sense because you can literally use that anywhere. It's universal. I think I remember a while ago I thought of just making one general game session struct and then just loading parameters in there, but I don't know. That doesn't sound great either. But it would be quote unquote reusable technically, I guess, but then that would be really stupid because then you would make a new config object every time you call a game. That's also another. I'm gonna keep reading through this. Hey, Enos. I'll just give you the scoop. So we're a coding programming channel, and basically, um, we make we make tutorial content basically. Specifically, right now, I'm working on something called Amazon Gamelift, or at least a tutorial on how to use it. Amazon Gamelift is essentially a package that you can use to make multiplayer games. And it's really neat. But the documentation is questionable, which is why I guess you could say we're helping make it a little better. Also, we're working on a client package that will make it much more easier to communicate with Gamelift servers. So, how old am I? That's a good question. All right. um. Let me go back to this great game session request class. Um, mm, mm, I don't know why I have earbuds on. I'm not listening to anything. Which is where your parameter object will be passed. I don't know if I want to do this though. But the weird thing is, the Yeti Tech guy definitely had the conversation I'm having right now, because he made, for example, the US of A, Enos. All right. Um, but yeah, the Yeti Tech guy who originally made this Gamelift client SDK package definitely thought what I was thinking, because, for example, the create player session method, that was here already before, and it wasn't he didn't have it where it would pass in a parameter object. He actually listed out the individual parameters. So I'm wondering why he didn't continue to make game session config. Or I'm sorry, I don't know why he didn't continue making these structs. He kind of just made one and that was it. I think he was just trying to I kind of want to do it now. Turkey, that's cool. Turkey's nice. I want to go there one day. Should I do it? Um, I've never been. Maybe one day I will come to Turkey. But I'm like, boys or ladies and boys, I think I might refactor this to. That's a good question, No Block King. Um, that is a good question. Could it depend on the scope of the location from where he's calling the methods? I don't think so, because he's kind of doing the same thing. For example, like this method, right? It takes in two individually listed parameters and he's just setting them. And there's really not much difference, as far as I know. That would be cool if I got him on here to talk with that guy. I don't know how I would be able to do it, because I'm pretty sure he's in India, and that time zone difference, ooh, that would be a disaster. That would literally be a disaster. I mean, I'd do it though if he would want to, but I could also be looking at this completely wrong. I'm kind of thinking of it from a change all or don't do it at all mentality. I don't think that's the greatest, but the problem is that it won't be reusable though. I mean, there's a search game sessions method. I could potentially use this game session config object for this method and the create game sessions method. I could do that. But I honestly, I might just bite my tongue and just follow what AWS does and just literally make literally just make a parameter object for every single method. The thing is also LOE based decision. I'm sorry, no Block King. I'm a very ignorant man. What is LOE? The thing is though, Yeti Tech did follow the AW like what AWS did for the method signatures for the asyncs. It would take in parameter object, a handler, a shared pointer. So I mean, so I do feel it would make sense. I think I'm gonna do it. We're gonna write some code. Level of effort. It is a level of effort. It is a level of effort based decision. No Block King, you are right. That is why I am stalling. But now I think I'm actually gonna start. I'm gonna start writing this. You're definitely right though. Definitely is. Okay. Default constructor. So I gotta look this up. How to initialize T-Array, Unreal Engine, C++. I'm very glad you're here, No Block King, because it would have been very lonely. Not gonna lie. All right. So just this. Oh, okay. So it. Do I need? Okay, so it seems like I don't even. There is no initial. This is literally initializing it. Lines 42 and 43. So. All right. I'm gonna. I'm gonna. Let's do it. So I'll start here. Fleet ID, alias ID, set game session properties. Yep, let's do that. Okay. F Gamelift. What do I call this parameter? Rebuilding your UE4 engine. Nice, nice. Wouldn't it be... Now, I don't want you to leave the stream, but wouldn't it be faster to not what? Hey, Shane. So, a long story short, we make programming tutorials. I'm currently trying to finish up our Gamelift tutorial, or I guess update our Gamelift tutorial. What is Gamelift? It's an Amazon game server hosting platform so that people can make multiplayer games. And right now I'm specifically working on a client wrapper package that wraps the existing AWS Gamelift client SDK. And the benefit to this is that it allows people to use Blueprint code instead of just C++ in Unreal Engine. I hope that was a good enough description. If that wasn't good, I'm sure I'll get better at it after the next 100 times. Ah, thank you, Shane. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad it helped. I will admit though, Shane, they are not. We kind of made them in a rush when we didn't even know, when me and Ryan didn't even know that much about Gamelift. So we've definitely learned a lot more. So we definitely want to update those tutorials, but we've been kind of slacking. So that's the hope with these live streams. Hopefully we can get back on our get back on our toes. I'm actually gonna look at the old version of the code, see the naming conventions that Yeti Tech used. I'm gonna see what he did. What did he call these methods? Thank God Yeti Tech made this because it really makes it easier to use Gamelift, to be quite honest, and he did it so well. No blocking. You're honestly probably right. uh, yeah, I'm not. But I remember the only reason why I said that was because I remember once I was watching a football live stream, and that just slowed my compile time a lot, and I don't know why, to be quite honest with you. I don't know, maybe if that was just a coincidence, but okay. He called it game session properties. Game session config. I'm gonna call it. Let me see the. Let me see those naming conventions in that I could call it a request. I could literally do it exactly like AWS does it. Game with request. I guess it doesn't matter. I'll just call it game session config because I actually do like that name, to be quite honest. Okay. My Chrome def freezes up sometimes, but that's without keep running into the same one trying to set up the plugin. Yeah, that's another thing we're trying to do. We definitely want to make it much clearer on how to actually use the plug, or we want to make it easier to use it too, because I know something that gives a lot of people issues is adding those external dependencies. So it's annoying, I'll be honest. But you need those external dependencies, so double-edged sword. All right, create game session. Actually, since I have, I guess, two other people watching besides me and Ryan, do people game on Linux that much these days? Because I know I was having some difficulties a while ago trying to get this client SDK to work on Unreal Engine for Linux. But I kind of just gave up because as long as people can make their game and upload to Amazon Linux servers, then I don't think it matters that much that they can't make the games playable on Linux. Since I kind of just assume most people game on Windows. Sorry, Ryan. He's a Mac user. The real question, where are my other friends who okay, so let's just go back. Um, Interesting, Shane. I did not know that. That's good. Then maybe I. Mac is just a disgrace. What do you guys think of that new $50,000 Mac? That's like terabyte of RAM, even more. I'm gonna go back. What do they use? Create game session config. Honestly, I mean, he pretty much uses the exact same names. I think I literally might just change the names to almost exactly what AWS does, because I mean, Yeti Tech kind of just uses the same names, but he just kind of he prefixes it with a letter. So actually, that's not exactly true. Don't worry, guys. I won't be getting that. I won't be getting that anytime soon. Um, Create game session config. I'll change the name. I'll just make it separate. F Gamelift. I don't know why it calls it server properties. I'll definitely change that name. By the way, if you guys can't tell, I'm a stickler for dumb stuff. Okay. I mean, I don't know. I didn't really see a point for the name, the word server in that variable name. Game session properties. Alright, Ryan, I'll still be here. Game session properties, game session config. I do like that name. I'll stay true to that guy's name. Why did he prefix with Gamelift though? I mean, it's kind of clear. That is such a long name. Do I need to prefix it? I mean, oh, it's so long, so ugly. Okay, I'll just do it. I'll suck it up. I'll suck it up. Are these? Oh, okay. Never mind. He has the getters. Okay. All right. I'll do that then. Okay. Why is this? Okay, so I have to go to the header files now. Change it. Okay. Create game session. These are the callback functions. But it's this one. Create. I mean, might as well. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the long name, but I want to try to stay true to the original creator's intent. So, all right, that fixes that. I don't know if I have to do it anywhere else. Oh. All right, I think we're good. How do I control? How do I save all? Control Shift S. That's what I did. Okay. I don't know why that didn't work. I did Control Shift S. Okay. Alright, so now I gotta go back to that method and change everything. Well, not everything, but I gotta modify it. Gonna change my development mode to Windows. I'm definitely gonna compile this because I like to compile things as I go. Nope. Oh my god, I'm a klutz. Get fleet ID. Ooh, max player count? I'm gonna rename that to max player count. Also, the N32 is kind of excessive, but I think he made this when this was like much older, so I just won't touch that. Max player count. Why am I calling this max player count? Because I think that's literally what they call it. Why are there so many docs? Why are Amazon Gamelift docs so huge? They actually call it maximum player session count. See, I shortened a bit. Okay. Alias ID. Oh, we definitely want. I'm definitely adding a variable to this. I'm definitely adding a fleet ID because, to tell the truth, in Gamelift there's usually not much reason to use aliases because most people use like queues anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah. Actually, really, this function. Oh yeah, I guess I might as well explain what the new update to the tutorials are actually going to cover. So right now, our Gamelift tutorial series had 4 videos in it. The first 2 are the most popular. Obviously, it gets you a Windows build upload onto a Amazon Gamelift Windows server, and you can make Windows clients interact with each other on the server. That was the first 2 videos, and those were technically the most expensive way to do Gamelift because you were using Windows servers and you were using on the man Windows servers. The next two videos helped you a little bit because it would give you cross compilation if you're on a Windows machine, and then you could add and then I covered how to add Gamelift Linux. I'm sorry guys, I'm blanked out. The last video in the Gamelift tutorial series done so far just covered how you would add to your project the stuff you needed to be able to build a Linux server build of your game and then upload that to AWS Linux servers. But it was still on demand though. And what I wanted to cover was, let me show you guys AWS Gamelift pricing, just to show you guys what I'm talking about. I know I've gone over it in some videos, but just in case for you guys watching, why not? So yeah, the spot fleets. Because in the videos covered so far, the cheapest I get to is on demand. And on demand is absolute trash compared to spot. It's absolutely crazy. Like the fact that they even have it as an option I just don't understand. And the fact that they have Windows, which is even more expensive, Windows servers, Windows server builds. So yeah, so that's what we're hoping to cover. We're hoping to cover the use of queuing so that you can use the spot fleets on Linux, as well as matchmaking in Gamelift. So the rule stuff that I was talking about earlier. I think it's called Gamelift Matchmaker or something. Gamelift Matchmaking. Flex Match. It's called Flex Match. I definitely want to use Flex Match because I think that's cool. Basically, with your server build, you use a JSON file that's supposed to represent the rules for your matchmaking, and together it'll just handle, it'll handle which game session your client will join automatically. So it's really cool. So yeah. But anyway, yeah, fleet ID, definitely need a fleet ID, because, yeah. Definitely need a fleet ID, that is for sure. Also, honestly, guys, not a big fan of the capital ID. Definitely gonna change that. So I don't get this guy's parameters name, alias ID. Not a big fan. Might as well default parameters. Okay, that looks good to me. And now I can go back and then oh wait, I already okay, so I did those. I can do the ooh, that's right. I have to is that even what I call that method? Get max player count. Get fleet ID, get alias ID. I did not make a getter or a setter for that new fleet ID variable I made. There's definitely a way to just automatically do it, but I'm too lazy to look it up. This is just a pet peeve, but Yeti Tech has done this a lot in his code. He would write ID like this. I'm more of a this kind of guy. Just a pet peeve. But I know, guys. I'm a very nitpicky person. Very nitpicky. Too nitpicky. I'm gonna move this window here. I'm gonna just check Discord. No one's talking. Alright, let's see. Set alias ID. Fleet ID. Alright, I'm gonna make a getter. I don't know what. Oh, that's cool. I didn't even know. I'll be honest with you guys. I didn't even know what this. Wait. So this force inlet, I've seen this throughout his code. I didn't know what it actually did. I thought I was supposed to force it to be in line. What the heck? Guess not. Kind of disappointed by that, actually. Alright, fleet ID, alias ID, max player count. Those are defaults, getters, setters. We got all of them. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was just for one of these config objects, unfortunately. Okay, so now I have to go and add another parameter to the proxy for the game session server property. So I'm going to do that. I believe that this method? Yes. Right here. I could explain the flow of this if I remember. So can I make a T array here? Like, could I just literally do this? I guess I'll find that when it compiles. Okay. Alright. Fleet ID, yep. Actually, I'll explain the flow. I think I kind of understand it. It's been a while. So basically, in your game, you'll, if you want to, you'll call this create game session method, which is an instance method, on an object of type Gamelift client, right? And then you'll pass in this game session config that I just spent a while fussing over. And then this will make an object of type Gamelift create game session, which you saw here. It's this guy, right? And it basically has the same fields as the parameter object that we were working on. So that gets returned, right? Because when you call this method in your game, it makes an object of type Gamelift create game session, but then you have to further call activate on it to actually start the actual creating of the game session, so to speak. And then that'll basically just go in here, and then it'll make an object of type create game session request, which is built into the AWS SDK. And then it'll do a bunch of other stuff, like it'll make the handler and then it'll further call more like legit Gamelift methods made by AWS. And then depending on the result, you'll go to this callback on create game session. And essentially all this is what this is meant for is once the AWS side is done, it'll get back here, and then from here, depending on what happens, you have to make sure that this method returns the appropriate information back to the game. So I hope I was able to explain the flow a little bit. But yeah. So yeah, we have the game session property. So now I think the other stuff I'm pretty sure was okay. If you guys want to know more of these two if statements, they just make sure the callback functions, whether or not the function fails or succeeds, make sure they're just bound. Just make sure it does take care of both cases. Set max player count. Set the fleet ID and the alias ID for the game session request, just like we did for the game session, or sorry, for the max player count. And then this is the to do redo the way properties are added. I'm just gonna comment that. I'm gonna add that back. Let me just make sure makes an object of type AWS game property. Yep, does some weird string conversion stuff, but that's pretty right. Just does a for loop within all the game session properties. To do find a way to parameterize Gamelift local. Yeah, that was something I left for myself because I know one of the things about our tutorials was the fact that we didn't really cover how to test Gamelift locally. To be honest with you guys, I do want to get more into that, but testing locally does not ensure anything. From my experience, it's really not until you actually upload that build to Gamelift and then you know whether or not it'll work. But so I'm gonna leave that as a to do. I just won't worry about it. This default variable, this default fleet ID you see here is just straight from the AWS docs. I mean, you know it's really hard coded. It's 1A, 2B, 3C, 4D. It's just number, the next letter in the alphabet. So, man, I can't believe you guys are still here, but I love it. You guys are keeping me company. Probably boring you guys to death. Just gonna check my videos real quick. Okay, let's go back. Alright, create game session. Alright, I think I'm just gonna build this. Specifically for the client. Choosing development client mode here because a lot of this code is scoped in client mode, so if I build in development editor mode, it just won't get built. This is my first time building on an SSD. I wonder how fast it is. How do you join a game session in C++? Okay. are you saying just like, do you just want one way, or do you have a specific way in mind? Because there's technically a lot of ways to join a game session. And when you say in C++, are we talking without the client SDK or with the client SDK? Damn, that was really fast. I mean, it failed, but it was really fast, so. Cannot open source file. Oh, I don't like the sound of that. Oh my god. What is this? I'll get to you, Shane. Let me just examine this error message. I don't think I've ever seen this before. A 1,370. Bruh. What? I'm confused. I don't know what. Alright, I'm gonna close this and I'm gonna rebuild the project. Or when I say rebuild, I mean regenerate the Visual Studio project files. Wait, Shane, are you like, oh wait, no. I was gonna say, I was gonna ask if you were completely new to the channel, but that's not. With the client SDK right now, with what's first off, the client, okay, I'll just go based off the the newest version of the client SDK on the Yeti Tech page that actually works. So that the one that's actually linked in our tutorials. It's you need you need either a fleet ID or an alias. I mean, this was actually probably why. See, back if you use the direct create game session method in the client SDK in that old version, there was no way to take in a fleet ID. You had to use an alias ID. So you would have to give an alias. That's to create a game session. Now to join one, you have to make a player session. And we did cover that in those videos, but again, we're gonna make a completely new revamp tutorial because it's just a mess, to be honest. And also, we want you guys to like not lose a bunch of money, even though technically y'all have the free tier. So okay, those files have been regenerated. Let's open it up again. Man, it is so hot. Alright, let's give it another shot. Compile, please compile. Alright. In this time of desperate measures, we are going to copy this error message because I have absolutely no idea what is causing it. I get what. Yeah. You're right, Shane. That's true. That was another. That was actually something else we also saw with the with the game with Client SDK. Yeah, it would make the player session, but it wouldn't actually join. Or sorry, it would make the player session, and you would join the game, but it wouldn't activate the player. I get what you're saying, and actually, with the recent updates to the Client SDK, we have fixed that. But as you can see, we're still working on Client SDK, so. Ooh, this is apparently a very new error. Just gonna save this. And keep only the latest, apparently. Was having tried unchecked old version, only a full reinstall of Visual Studio fixed for me. See, man. You know what's ironic about this? At the beginning of the stream, I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't update Visual Studio. Alright, let me try what this guy said. Let's open up the Visual Studio installer. This is ridiculous. I mean, this might be more of a Microsoft thing than like a Unreal Engine thing. Just they always update their stuff. Okay, so according to this Unreal Engine forum, we keep only the latest Windows 10 SDK. That's what I did. I only have one. Thank you for nothing. What? Tried unchecking only a full re. Alright, then we'll do a full reinstall. I mean, repair. I don't want to uninstall it because I installed individual components. I guess I could screenshot them to remember them. Greens. I guess I could go to. Wait. So. Wait, they're saying. Let me try that. Okay. I will save all, close, retry. Okay. Wait. Let's try only I don't want to. Why do I have to reinstall everything? Also, this issue isn't that old. I have a feeling this won't work. Oh my god. These guys have an old version of it too. Let me try and modify my search here, guys. I've seen this before too. That's the annoying part. Oh, rebuild. Honestly, I forgot about the rebuild all. I might have to rebuild my engine. And that will take a while. If that's the case. If that's the case, I honestly might just get... update my Unreal Engine source. To be quite honest, if this doesn't work, so... I was gonna do that, but I wanted to do that off stream since that literally takes so long. Alright, let's try again. I think I do need to rebuild the engine though. That sucks. That would be so ironic because No Block King is technically rebuilding the engine right now. That would actually be hilarious. Oh boy. God dang it. I think I do need to rebuild the engine. Okay. Alright. I had a feeling that would not work. Alright, let's go to... Let's reinstall the newest version of Windows 10 SDK. And then once we do that, I'm gonna... Might as well get myself ready for this. Oh, I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that was a thing. You can search GitHub through the Chrome search bar if you type in the URL for GitHub and press space. Learn something new. Learn something new every day. I did not. Wow. That is... Wait, can you do that for YouTube as well? Flopperam. I did not know that. That's really cool, actually. Okay. What event would I call on this list to activate player session? Oh, okay. Yes. Okay, so you're talking about, before I go on chain, you're talking about this huge list, right? You're getting a nice sneak peek, Shane, of the next set of tutorials. I think these streams are actually like... I think these streams are good. Okay, so accepting player sessions is not done through the client. It's actually done through the server. So if you Google AWS Gamelift accept player session. So here. Oh wait, no. This is C#. So if you look at the So this is the server API reference. So what we were working on was all client stuff. This is actual server stuff. So it's from that Gamelift server SDK that everyone has trouble getting those the DLL and lib files. You might know what I'm talking about. So you actually have to call this in your Unreal Engine game. So I can show you in. Oh, I closed the project. All right. Well, it'll be explained at a future point anyway. But this function, except player session, would be called in your game on the server. When I did it in my game mode class in the pre-login method. So that whenever a player joined, I would call accept player session, and I would pass in the player session ID from the parameters gathered from the pre-login function. And to pass those into the pre-login, when you do a server travel or an open level, you would pass the player session ID through that. I do want to preface though, the player sessions on Gamelift are just for Amazon metrics. They're not really used for. I mean, they're also used for the rules and the matchmaking, obviously, but yeah. That's a sneak peek. Why is this taking so long to download? Alright, but yeah, I have to. Oh, this is gonna take so long. But yeah, I'm like pretty positive I have to rebuild this engine, so I'm gonna. Git clone this. I wonder where. I wonder who's still here. I know Shane is here. I wonder if No Blocking is still here or Ryan. I don't know if you're here, Ryan. Yeah. Currently cloning the latest version of Unreal Engine source. Doing that. While modifying my Visual Studio. I don't know if that's the smartest idea. You're welcome, Shane. I feel like hopefully my stream quality doesn't deteriorate terribly because I'm running a lot of processes right now. You're good. Welcome back. I'm doing so much. I'm modifying Visual Studio and cloning Unreal Engine source. Because I came across an error earlier. You missed it. No blocking. It had to do with pre-compiled headers. There's an issue. And one of the solutions, I'm pretty sure, is to rebuild the engine. But I'm just like, if I'm going to do that, I literally might as well just update my Unreal Engine source. Yeah, I walked away for a bit. Shane can. Yes, of course. Of course. I got you, Shane. I got you, Shane. Man, this stream. This stream would actually be like. I don't know if you're still here, Ryan, but I actually think these streams could be really, really fun. With more people watching, because I do like this interaction. Actually, this is really good. Takes me back to the old Flopperam days. Um, I googled it. It was like, I'll show. I have too many. I have to close some of these. It was. Oh, did I close it? So it was kind of something along the lines of a precompiled header was from a different version of the compiler, or the precompiled header is C++ and you're using it from C, or vice versa. I think it was because one, I updated my Visual Studio, and I'm pretty sure I have to rebuild the engine. So yeah, now we're really killing time. I might stop streaming soon, guys, just to do this, cause I mean I don't know if streaming has. I feel like it does on the speed of. It probably does, to be honest. So I think I think I'm gonna stop the stream, guys. Um, I might be on later though, but thank you guys for coming. Are you guys in the Discord though? Before I leave, you guys should definitely join our Discord. Discord, or if you guys don't use it, it's okay. Yeah, I think so too. But yeah, let me before I go, I'm just gonna post a link to the Discord and then I'll head out. But definitely thank you guys for joining. I'm honestly really surprised. I thought no one was gonna join. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. I Yeah, I'm in the Discord trans. No blocking. I don't. Do you? If you want, you can at me with your issue. But for now, I'm gonna sign out. Thank you guys.